Most people over 60 have a little snack before bed, a piece of fruit, maybe some crackers, something light. And most doctors would say, that sounds fine. But here's what those doctors are not telling you. There are specific fruits that, when eaten at the right time, especially before bed, do something remarkable inside your body while you sleep. They activate cancer-fighting compounds at the cellular level. They reduce inflammation that's been building in your body for years. And they trigger a repair process that slows the growth of the kind of abnormal cells that, in many seniors, quietly become something much more serious. Now here's the part that shocked even me. Most seniors over 60 are eating fruit at the wrong time of day, or eating the wrong fruits entirely, and because of that, they're missing out on one of the most powerful natural lines of defense their body has against cancer. The timing matters, the type of fruit matters, and the combination. This is what most people never hear about. If you close this video before it ends, you may never learn which fruit you should be eating tonight, and why the one you're probably reaching for could actually be working against you. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what to eat, when to eat it, and why it matters more after 60 than at any other time in your life. My name is Dr. Chan. For years, I've worked with patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, people who were doing everything they thought was right. They were eating fruit. They were staying active. They were following the advice they'd been given for decades, and yet many of them were still developing inflammation, precancerous markers, and chronic conditions that nobody warned them about. When we looked closer, the answer was almost always in what they were eating. And when. Today, I want to share what I've learned from years of working with senior patients and studying the latest research in senior nutrition and cancer prevention. Because this information, simple, practical, and completely free, could change the way your body fights disease every single night. Why food hits differently after 60. Here's something most people don't realize. After 60, your body processes food in a completely different way than it did at 40. Your stomach produces less acid. That means digestion slows down. Nutrients don't absorb the same way. And compounds, good or harmful, stay in your system longer. Your liver and kidneys, the organs that filter out toxins, are working at roughly 40 to 60% of the efficiency they once had. They can't clear harmful waste products as quickly. Your gut bacteria change dramatically. The bacteria that fight inflammation begin to decline. The bacteria that feed it begin to grow. And here's the critical one. Your cells repair themselves more slowly after 60. When DNA damage happens, from toxins, from inflammation, from free radicals, your body used to catch and fix it quickly. After 60, that repair process slows down. Abnormal cells have more time to grow unchecked. This is why what you eat, and when you eat it, becomes so much more important after 60. The right foods at the right time can actively support that cellular repair process. They can flood your body with compounds that fight inflammation, neutralize free radicals, and interrupt the early stages of cancer development. And the most powerful time to do this? While you sleep. That's when your body does its deepest repair work. Feeding it the right fuel right before that process begins, that's when these fruits work best. So, a fruit that was just healthy at 40 becomes something much more powerful at 65. If you know which one to choose. Let me show you exactly what I mean. 1. Tart cherries. Tart cherries are one of the most underrated fruits for anyone over 60. Most people have heard of them for sleep. They're a natural source of melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to rest and repair. But here's what most people don't know. Tart cherries are also packed with compounds called anthocyanins. These are powerful antioxidants, natural chemicals that fight free radical damage at the cellular level. Free radical damage is one of the key triggers for abnormal cell growth. It's one of the earliest steps in cancer development. And after 60, your body produces more free radicals and has fewer natural defenses against them. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that anthocyanins, found in high concentrations in tart cherries, showed significant anti-tumor activity. They were shown to inhibit the growth of cancer cells and trigger a process called apoptosis. That's when the body tells damaged or abnormal cells to self-destruct before they can multiply. Tart cherries also contain quercetin. This compound has been studied extensively by the American Cancer Society and shown to reduce inflammation markers linked to cancer risk. Eating tart cherries before bed means those cancer-fighting compounds are circulating in your body during your deepest hours of cellular repair. What to do? About 30 minutes before bed, eat a small bowl of tart cherries, fresh or frozen, not sweetened. Or drink 4 to 8 ounces of pure tart cherry juice with no added sugar. Avoid the canned varieties and syrup. The sugar undoes the benefit. This one small habit could be one of the most powerful things you do for your health after 60. And that brings me to number 2. This one surprised almost every patient I shared it with. 2. Kiwi. Kiwi is a fruit most seniors eat occasionally. Maybe they slice it into a fruit salad. Maybe they haven't eaten one in years. After hearing this, I think that's going to change. Kiwi is one of the highest food sources of vitamin C on the planet, higher than oranges, gram for gram. But that's not the most important part. Kiwi contains a unique compound called actinidin, along with an extraordinary mix of folate, vitamin K, and vitamin E. Together, these nutrients support something called DNA repair mechanisms, the cellular process by which your body identifies and corrects genetic damage before it can progress into something more serious. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health has linked low folate levels in older adults to increased cancer risk, particularly colorectal and cervical cancers. Folate helps protect the integrity of your DNA, and after 60, folate absorption from food declines significantly. Kiwi delivers highly bioavailable folate, meaning your aging digestive system can actually absorb it, unlike many supplements. There's more. A clinical study published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating 2 kiwi fruits before bed significantly improved sleep quality in adults. And we've already talked about why deep sleep is critical for cancer defense. But here's what really matters. The antioxidant capacity of kiwi is off the charts. The NIH National Institute on Aging has highlighted antioxidant-rich diets as one of the strongest dietary strategies for reducing cancer risk in aging adults. What to do? Eat 1 or 2 kiwis about 45 minutes before bed. Eat the skin if you can tolerate it. It contains 3 times more antioxidants than the flesh alone. If the texture bothers you, blend it into a small smoothie with no added sugar. Simple, cheap, and genuinely powerful. Let's move to number 3. And this one is one most people eat, but almost nobody eats it at the right time. 3. Blueberries sleep. If you've watched this channel before, you've heard me talk about blueberries. And I'm going to talk about them again, because when it comes to cancer fighting, brain protecting, inflammation reducing foods for seniors, nothing compares. Blueberries are one of the richest sources of anthocyanins of any food on Earth. We talked about anthocyanins in tart cherries. Blueberries have even more. But blueberries also contain something called pterostilbene, a compound closely related to resveratrol, which has been studied intensively for its cancer-preventive properties. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showed that pterostilbene actively inhibits the development of colon, breast, and prostate cancer cells in laboratory studies. It works by disrupting the signals that tell abnormal cells to keep growing. The American Cancer Society has identified a diet rich in deeply colored berries as one of the most evidence-supported dietary approaches to reducing cancer risk. Here's why night matters for blueberries specifically. During sleep, your body releases a hormone called growth hormone. In older adults, this hormone plays a critical role in cellular maintenance and repair. The antioxidants in blueberries help protect cells during this repair window, neutralizing oxidative stress right when your body is working hardest to fix damage. Blueberries also protect the brain. Research from the Alzheimer's Association has shown that regular blueberry consumption is associated with slower cognitive decline, meaning they protect not just your cells, but your memory and your mind. What to do? Eat a half cup to 1 full cup of fresh or frozen blueberries before bed. Frozen blueberries are just as effective as fresh, and often cheaper. Avoid blueberry products with added sugar or preservatives. The whole fruit is what works. Make this a nightly habit. Your cells and your brain will thank you. Now, number 4. This one catches most people off guard. 4. Pomegranate. Pomegranate has been used medicinally for thousands of years, but modern science is now giving us a clear picture of why. Pomegranate contains a compound called punicalagin. It's found almost nowhere else in nature, and its cancer-fighting properties are extraordinary. Research published in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research found that punicalagin actively suppresses the growth of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer cells. It does this by interrupting a process called angiogenesis. That's when tumors try to build new blood vessels to feed themselves and grow. When you stop that process, you stop the tumor from getting the fuel it needs to spread. For men over 60, this is critical. The National Cancer Institute reports that prostate cancer risk rises sharply after 60. For women over 60, breast cancer remains one of the leading threats. Pomegranate has been studied in connection with both. A landmark study from UCLA found that men with rising PSA levels, an early marker for prostate cancer activity, who drank pomegranate juice daily showed significantly slower PSA progression than those who didn't. The researchers called the results remarkable. Pomegranate also reduces inflammation dramatically. JAMA. Internal Medicine has published research linking chronic inflammation in seniors to accelerated cancer progression. Pomegranate's anti-inflammatory compounds work at the same molecular pathways as some cancer medications, naturally. At night, when your immune system is most active and your body is fighting abnormal cells, pomegranate's compounds are circulating at exactly the right time. What to do? Drink 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice, no added sugar, about 30 minutes before bed. Or eat the seeds of half a pomegranate. The seeds, called arils, contain all the active compounds. Yes, they take a little work to prepare, but what they do inside your body is worth every second. Number 5 is one I want every woman over 60 to hear. 5. Red grapes. Most people eat red grapes without thinking twice. After this, you'll never look at them the same way. The skin of red grapes contains one of the most studied anti-cancer compounds in nutritional science, resveratrol. You may have heard of resveratrol in connection with red wine, but here's what the research actually shows. You don't need the wine. The grape itself, especially the skin, contains it in its purest, most beneficial form, without the liver-damaging effects of alcohol. The National Cancer Institute has funded extensive research into resveratrol. Studies have shown it can inhibit cancer cell growth in breast, colon, esophageal, and prostate cancers. It works by reducing the activity of proteins that cancer cells use to protect themselves from the body's natural defenses. After 60, the immune system becomes less effective at identifying and destroying early-stage cancer cells. Resveratrol helps compensate for that decline. It essentially helps your immune system do what it used to do naturally when you were younger. Red grapes also contain quercetin and catechins, both of which the American Cancer Society has identified as compounds that reduce cancer-promoting inflammation. At night, resveratrol has one additional benefit. It activates a class of proteins called sirtuins, which are directly involved in DNA repair. Eating red grapes before bed means resveratrol is active during the hours your body is performing its most intensive cellular maintenance. What to do? Eat 1 small cluster, about 15 to 20 red grapes, with the skin on, before bed. Eat them slowly. Don't drink grape juice. The processing removes the resveratrol from the skin and adds excess sugar. The whole grape, the whole skin, that's where the power is. And now, number 6. I've saved one of the most powerful for last. 6. Papaya. Papaya is not a fruit most American seniors eat regularly. And that's a real shame, because the research on papaya and cancer prevention is some of the most compelling in nutritional science. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain. It also contains extraordinarily high levels of lycopene, a carotenoid compound more commonly associated with tomatoes. and it contains beta-cryptoxanthin, a form of vitamin A with powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Here's why this combination matters. Lycopene has been extensively studied for its role in cancer prevention. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that high lycopene intake was associated with a significantly reduced risk of prostate cancer in men. Other studies have shown lycopene-rich diets are linked to lower rates of lung, stomach, and pancreatic cancer. But papaya's lycopene is absorbed more efficiently than the lycopene in tomatoes, because papaya requires no cooking to release it. Beta-cryptoxanthin, found in very few foods at the levels present in papaya, has been specifically studied for its effects on colon cancer. Research published in Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention found that high beta-cryptoxanthin intake was associated with a 37% reduction in colon cancer risk. For seniors over 60, whose colon health is already a critical concern, that number is significant. Eating papaya before bed means its carotenoid compounds are absorbed during a long, calm digestive process while you sleep, allowing for maximum absorption and maximum benefit. What to do? Eat 1 cup of fresh papaya, about the size of a small bowl, before bed. Add a small squeeze of lime juice. The vitamin C in lime actually enhances carotenoid absorption. Together, they are more powerful than either alone. If fresh papaya is hard to find, frozen papaya works well. Avoid canned papaya in syrup. The added sugar creates the exact inflammation these compounds are trying to fight. I want to tell you about a patient of mine. I'll call her Margaret. Margaret was 71 when she came to see me. She was sharp, active, and careful about her diet, or so she thought. She had been eating fruit every day for years, an apple in the morning, some canned peaches in the afternoon, a glass of orange juice with breakfast. But when we reviewed her blood work, her inflammatory markers were elevated. Her doctor had flagged some precancerous cells in her colon during a routine screening. She was exhausted in a way sleep didn't fix, and she had a family history of cancer that kept her awake at night. Literally. She thought it was just age. She told me, "Dr. Chan, I'm eating healthy. I don't understand why my body feels like it's fighting something it can't win." I told her the truth. She wasn't eating the wrong things. She was just missing the right ones. At the right time. We talked about the fruits I've just shared with you. We talked about eating them before bed, when her body's repair cycle was most active. We removed the canned fruit and syrup and the juice. We added tart cherries, blueberries, kiwi, and papaya to her evenings. Within 4 months, her inflammatory markers had dropped significantly. Her follow-up screening showed no progression of the precancerous cells. Her gastroenterologist noted the improvement with surprise. Her energy returned. Her sleep deepened. She told me she felt like her body had turned back on. She called me on the phone just to say, "I feel like I have my life back." Margaret isn't special. She's not a miracle story. She simply had the right information, and she acted on it. And now, so do you. Here's what I want you to hold on to after this video. The fruits most likely to protect your body after 60 aren't the ones being marketed to you. They're not in bright packaging on the grocery store shelf. They're not in supplements or powders. They're real. They're whole. And they're most powerful when your body is quiet, resting, repairing, right before you go to sleep. The damage that happens inside your body after 60 is real. Inflammation builds quietly. Abnormal cells multiply slowly. The defenses that used to catch these things early are no longer as sharp. But your next meal, your meal tonight, can change that. The right fruits, at the right time, feed your body the tools it needs to fight back. That knowledge doesn't cost you a prescription. It doesn't require surgery. It just requires knowing what to reach for, and when. And now, you know. If you learned something today that you didn't know before, please hit the like button right now. It tells me this kind of content is helping you. And it helps this video reach other seniors who need this information too. And if you want to protect your health after 60, subscribe to this channel. Every week, I share research-backed guidance on the foods that heal and the foods that silently harm the people who need honest answers the most. Next time, I'm going to show you the seeds you should be eating every single morning after 60, and why these tiny foods do more for your heart, your arteries, and your cancer defense than almost anything else. You don't want to miss that one. Eat well, stay strong. I'll see you in the next one.